welcome back for another book review. Today we're talking about this one. So this is You Want to Be a Medium, a down-to-earth guide by Rose Vanden. Eynden? Maybe that's how you're supposed to say that name? But this one. So this book is not exactly small, but it's not like a huge book, but it does cover a lot of different stuff in here. So this book kicks off with what is the difference between a psychic and a medium, because it's kind of a Venn diagram. There's a lot that's in the middle, but there's a few things that are a little separate, and she talks about that in detail, goes over what is the psychic, what is the medium, and kind of where they converge. Next, we go into a little bit of history into spiritualism, which obviously we now mostly refer to what our ancestors would have called spiritualism as mediums, but it stemmed from spiritualism in the 1800s. In this particular book, she focuses mostly on the Fox family, which, if you don't know, there's a whole history, and they kind of go back and forth everywhere you look on, was it real? Was it not? So this book is just another of like, but goes into that family mostly. Then it moves into some of the spiritual laws of the universe. If you watched my video yesterday, we talked about 40 of them in that book. This doesn't go into all of them, but it goes into a few. Some of them include like the law of the mind, the law of cause and effect, and of course, you always gotta have law of attraction. Then she moves into the clairs, so clairaudient, clairvoyant, all of those, talks about them in detail. Then there's also a bit on energy work, like with your aura and doing like shielding and stuff. There's also meditations and various guides that you are supposed to work with. And then it ends with some tips and advice if you want to become a reader. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. This is not my thing. I am not a medium. I'm not super psychic. I'm definitely more witch and more pagan. But I feel like it's always important to read books in our very broad branch of this particular belief set. You know, all of us that are in the occult, witchcraft, Wicca, New Age, all of us, we should cross-read a little bit. It's sometimes good just to get different ideas and stuff, even if it's not something you're necessarily going to do, just to expand your reading horizons. And that's what this fell into. Ironically, I own this book. I didn't know I owned it until I was talking about it with hubby, and yeah, his mom owns this book, so we own this book because we inherited everything. But I was genuinely surprised at how helpful this book would be for working on mediumship. The thing I didn't particularly love is there's a lot of like kind of more Christian-y undertones in this that's just not my thing, but if you can overlook it, you're fine. This is one of those books that I feel like the author really presented the information so well and in such like an informative, but not too over the head trying to be very academic, but also not too casual either, and just presented it very, very well. Like, I think it's one of the most, ironically, as the title would suggest, down-to-earth guides, because a lot of other books that talk about like mediumship, psychics, stuff like that, they tend to only focus on giving examples and not actually telling you what to do. And this actually tells you what to do. She walks you through exercises of like how to enhance your own abilities and how to move into actually doing it professionally if you want to, or just improving your skills. And that is something that she actually talked about pretty early on. And I was like, yeah, you're very correct in that, because a lot of times these books are really just, here's my evidence that it works, and it's like, great, but like, what do we do with that? And then the what to do with it is so small, where this is the opposite. This is one of those books that it's like, I feel like readers in general could benefit quite a bit from this. I thought the guides part of this was interesting. Some of them, not my favorite. Like, I'm not an Ascended Masters kind of a girly. I'm not into angels and archangels and stuff, but I did find it fascinating that there was these different types of guides, and there was like your joy guide, you have like a doctor guide, you have like a chemist guide. There was like 4 or 5 different ones. And I thought that was really, really fascinating, because you don't see that very often. Actually, I wrote them down. You have joy, protector, teacher, and chemist. And then I think the teacher was like doctor teacher, and then you had like doctor chemist or something like that. It was weird. That was the basic gist. But overall, this was a surprisingly really good book on the subject. So I've kind of mentioned this quite a few times, but if you are a reader, if you're trying to work on your psychic abilities, on mediumship, this is like the book to get, because even if you're a reader for like tarot cards or oracle cards or runes or whatever, this is still very helpful, I think. I think a lot of the techniques and tips and stuff would help you in your own journey. I think it's just got a lot of really good information. And of course, I do think that, again, expand your horizons a little bit and pick this up if you're wanting to work on your intuition a little bit, because it does have some really good exercises. And just in general, I think it's a fantastic read just to go through, even if you're not planning to be a reader. I would never. That is not my thing. I like to write books. I don't have any desire for that level of social interaction. I am an introvert. I have social anxiety. I love controlled social interaction. That's why this whole deal is my favorite, because even as an author, like, I don't know that I could ever do like book signings because I am so anxious, but I can sit in front of a camera, decide when I want to talk, and, you know, be able to interact with my comments when I have like the social battery available, and like, it's fine, and like, it works for me. So like, if you can be a reader, all props to you. I can't. But I do think a lot of people could get a lot from this book. So I would love to know your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons. If you would like to support me and get access to exclusive book talks, to my audiobooks, to my monthly vlogs, and just some random chit chats, it is all over on patreon.com/nightbellowcrafts. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean the world to me and actually helps significantly. So far, literally, y'all watching my videos has been reigning supreme help, to be honest. That's the weirdest one. That was not my bingo card of my career, that YouTube was the one that was going to be reigning supreme just by watching my videos. But like, y'all, it is so far reigning supreme of doing this full time. So thank you. All you had to do was watch my videos, and again, it doesn't take that much effort. I hope you enjoy them, and yeah, you guys are helping to just by watching, so thank you for doing that. And yeah, if you want to support more, you can buy my books. I hope my books help you back. And if you want to support on Patreon, again, you got exclusive stuff. But if all you want to do is watch my videos, that's totally chill. That's totally cool. Don't feel pressured to give me extra money. All you have to do is show up. That's it. And it makes the difference. And then my lovely little community, you're helping me to live my dreams. So thank you. And don't feel like I'm like bragging about money, by the way. I just watched a bunch of, I feel like Clutterbug, where Cassie just goes off on these random side tangents at the end, but here we are. So I watched a random, like several actually, documentaries on Boogie. 2298, I think was his username. And it's wild to see how much he's like complaining and be like, give me money. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person, but also just watch my videos. That's it. That's all you have to do. Like, it's making a difference. And also the amount of money he blew on like the stupidest stuff. It's like, bro, just don't do that at all. Like, just, I'm over here like, okay, probably save for the kid first, and then figure out house. But also there's a few houses that I really like, and there's one that I keep coming back to time and time again, and I'm like, I think I want to, because like, it's not perfect, but it's so close. And it's one of those where it's like the house might not be completely perfect, but the yard is perfect. The location's like, meh, it's not the worst, but it could be. It's just, you know, every house has its things. The cat is trying to go to her catio and scared herself because she had to go to the vet yesterday, so now she's all freaked out, and she went to poke on the door and it didn't quite open all the way, so she's like anyways. But yeah, so just seeing how much Boogie like blew his money on stupid stuff, and I'm over here like, I just want to be able to get a nice sized house so I can have kids and like have my office space, and to also like be a mom, and like to be able to have my kids. And just like, you blew your money on like the stupidest stuff. And it's wild because it's like the amount of money he was blowing on like apparently prostitutes and like sugar babies and just dumb, and just his attitude about things, like instead of being grateful, just like complaining all the time and just like not being authentic to yourself. It's like, wow. So I don't want to be that person. Like, that's why I'm not the most popular of the witchy channels, but also like this is just me. You're just getting the real vibes all the time. And so, yeah, it's crazy. So anyways, thank you for watching to the very end, because this is what matters, is that you get to the end, and that is truly, honestly, the biggest support that I can get, to be honest. It's wild, but it really does make a difference. And if you hate ads, I'm not sponsored, but YouTube Premium is my life changer, because that's how I watched all of those documentaries. I can't do ads. So yeah, the family plan is honestly the best. Have like a couple people go in on it, like your spouse, your roommates, whatever, just like go in on it. It's so great. It's such a game changer, or just for yourself too, but it's cheaper once you get the family plan. But yeah, so anyways, this is rambly. Check out this book. It was good. Thank you for watching to the very end. It means the world to me, and until next time, blessed be.